Baruch Hashem, amazing.
Cool. So let's just jump right in. So Baruch
Okay.
Hashem, you have kids of a lot of different ages. You've done this new school year a lot of times in Gan, in elementary school, Yeshivah, and I don't know, more stuff than I know. So please tell us about that.
Well, first of all, it's hard at any stage, but at the same time, it's the same struggle. There's this feeling of big question mark. Who's going to be my rav? Am I going to have good friends? Even though you just saw them, like in my case, I have, Baruch Hashem, a bunch of boys. I only saw them about 3 weeks ago, but there are all these things that change over the summer. And there are some question marks. Where am I going to get to sit in class? I mean, even, my guy who went to Yeshivah, am I going to get a good dorm room? Who's going to be my friends? They're all the same issues on different levels. And what I consider my job is to support them, absolutely support them. Be like, yes, you're right, but everything's going to be okay. You listen as much as you can, but you try to give them confidence and you say, everything's going to be okay. It's the way it's supposed to be. You're going to be just fine. And, and then I'm here, come home, tell me what's going on. We'll work together on anything you need. I'm here, and let's go forward.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. So besides for like the struggle of like the newness and the unknowns and all of that you mentioned, is there do you see any major differences between starting Gan and going off to dorm in Yeshiva?
So it's interesting. I was talking to my kids about this interview, and I said to my older ones, like, what did you think? What do you think I should say? And they said to me, the struggles are basically the same, and the Gan kids need a lot more support. But I would say, as far as first grade, don't overdo it. They know it's a new year. They know it's going to be challenging. They know they're not in Gan and they're going to have to sit in a chair and raise their hand properly. Some Ganim actually set them up at the end of the year as a regular classroom and say, let's practice. But, you can tell them, you're going to have a great time. The Rebbe is going to be wonderful, but don't overdo it.
In terms of what? What do you mean? Don't make it.
In terms of you're such a big boy now, and you're such a big girl, and look how just overemphasizing it's the next stage, and just don't go over the top. Just be like, you're going to have a great time in school. When you come home, I want to hear all about it. And if they're nervous, you say, listen, your big brother, your big sister did it. Look where they came from. Everybody goes through a first day of school. It'll be awesome. You'll come home and we'll schmooze. And I'm right here for you. You come home, come in the door. I want to hear about it. But don't go over the top. I read all these books. They're like, Ata achrai achshav. You can do it yourself. Yeah. They got it. They got the new teak. They got the new pencil case. Some of them are wearing uniforms. They got it. Just be like, okay, let's see how it goes today. Have a great time, and come home and let's talk.
Yeah. Okay, I hear that. Interesting. So you mentioned about the new teak and new stuff. Do you feel like these new school supplies, new shoes, whatever it is, does it help the kids? How do you feel about that?
Absolutely. I mean, for an adult also, you're going for a job interview, you want to feel good. You want to look good. You want to get something new. But that also compounds that I'm going on to a new stage. I'm going to be a new person. I'm going on to the next year. If you can give your child something small that they can take with them, maybe if it's a girl, a new headbands or a new kuka, whatever you can. And for a boy, just iron their shirt if you can, or even a girl, iron their shirt for the first day of school. It makes a difference. It makes them feel good. Definitely bring something new. I mean, if again, for a girl, you can bring something. It's a little easier to figure out a girl than a boy. A boy may be their favorite pen, or get a new pen for them, or something different, or a pencil, just something new that they feel good about themselves. And they know that you're behind them. When they touch that cuckoo or they're looking at their pen, they think, I'm there. Mommy's there. Mommy's with you.
Wow, I love that so much. I also love what you said, how I'm mixing two things that you said, but you said before, don't go over the top. And also when you're buying them the new things or certain things, our kids are smart. They know certain things. And of course we shouldn't just leave them in a black hole, but they know more than we give them credit for sometimes, and they pick up on things. So it's just interesting. I guess it's hard to figure out that balance, but yeah, we should be giving them more credit for the different things. Like if they're hearing all day in class that, wow, now you're big, do they want to keep hearing that at home, now you're big? It's like they still want to be your little kid. And also, so it's an interesting
Absolutely.
balance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody needs encouragement, but I always say that my house is not an extension of their classroom. And I say it at the Shabbos table also, like I'm not into, let's do the daf kasher at the Shabbos table. I'm not even into mivtzaim over Pesach or over, the 3 weeks, the Ben Azmanim. I don't like it. I feel like it's not, my house is fluid. My house works. We do your daf kasher. Okay, so, Abba will do it with Abba Subanim or whatever, but I'm more like free flowing. I'm more the unconditional love. I don't like this, like, did you daven every day? Did you do this? Did you do that? Like, it's vacation. Let them be on vacation.
I love that. Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. And it's so interesting also how everyone has like their own style and their own thing that works for them. I love that. So speaking of vacation, what could we be doing besides like not going over the top? But what are things that we could be doing during the vacation in the last few days or the last week, whatever it is, to prepare these kids to getting back into routine or whatever it is, especially when we are talking about starting first grade or starting high school, like the bigger changes.
So my go-to plan is to cover their books in their pattern that they want, let them choose it. We do it together sometimes, or sometimes I'll do it by myself, but they're watching me. And whatever I can take them shopping and say, pick something out as far as a wrapping paper, or they'll say, Mommy, I don't care. But they see me sitting at the table wrapping their books. And then when I go to parent teacher, I can recognize their cubby because those are the matching, the books that I wrapped. But I think the entire year, when they see their wrapped books, they think my mommy is behind me.
Wow.
They think like my books still look good because somebody sat here and wrapped it. Somebody cares about me. Somebody loves me. Somebody wants me to feel successful. That's for the little guys, even up to 8th grade. Like when it's funny because my older boys, they actually know how to bind Svarim. Like, Chumashim, Gemara, whatever. So I make them buying the kid's sitter. I'm like, I want this sitter to last. And I want them to feel like somebody is behind them. It's not just haphazardly by the end of the year, my cover is falling off my book and whatever, but when they see that mommy worked hard to cover their books and they feel menschlach, they feel like, okay, somebody's behind me. Somebody loves me. Somebody cares. My stuff, my cubby still looks organized. That's for the little guys, the wrapping. The big guys, it's a little harder because there is none of that outward, like, I'm talking about my sons here. There's no outward, like, mommy's giving me a hug all day type of thing. It's much more cut and dry. I think it comes on the background of what you did as a kid, at what you did with them when they were younger. You're giving them that support at a younger age, and it doesn't change when they get older. A lot of times you just have to, the kids, one of the points of chinuch is that they fall back to your original chinuch about what you did with them when they were younger. So this as well, like, I can drive my kids to school, my older guys to school, but one of them is not even in the area. He goes to Yeshivah outside of Ramat Beit Shemesh. So I'm not driving him, but just to like that you gave them a feeling when they were younger of you're important, you count, mommy's behind you, mommy supports you. I think that goes way until they have kids. When I take my kids to school, the big boys and the little boys, we always sing Su'u Sharim as we're going to school. Like,
wow, every day?
I always say like,
no,
like they're little Sifrei Torah and they're going back to the Aron Kodesh. Like that's where they belong, I want them to feel special when they go to school. They should feel like this is their place of Torah. This is where they're going to grow. They're very holy. They're very special. They're going back into Aron Kodesh. Like that's the place to grow. As far as the girls are concerned. So yeah, it's a little bit harder for me to say that. I think, I don't know, I make her lunch every morning, but how to get her off on the right foot, So, not being overbearing, I think for girls don't need, at least my daughter, she doesn't need all the cuddling, that we think she does or that I think she does. I just try to, play it cool. Do I have any rituals with her? Not really, like, it's more like, let her do her thing.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's so interesting for me and my family. I kind of, or whatever, I guess I do it differently with the girls also I come from like a very girly family, and also a lot of us are like super intellectual, and the learning is so much of our lives. Like it really, really is. Like I was talking to other people about how, I guess a little bit the way that you said it, it's more like a shkafic based practices type of thing. But I feel like for a lot of us, like the intellectual piece of it is so much of our avodas Hashem, or so much of our connection literally comes from that. It's just interesting how like the world is changing and how every single kid, every single person is so different. Just throwing that out there. I think it's like, I don't know.
I think that for my family, it's the love at home that brings to the intellectual in school. I always say chinuch starts and ends at home. At least at the little ages. Yeah, no, it's not my school's.
Yeah.
I mean, you work with the school and you definitely appreciate them. And I love the school that my kids go to, both the girl and the boys, whether it's their Yeshiva Gedola, Yeshiva Ketana, their elementary school, I support the schools. And I think it's wonderful. And I always talk respectfully about them. We never have any, if we have a disagreement, the kids are not listening to it. But I truly believe that only people responsible for your kids' chinuch are the people who are taking care of the child in the whole, across the board, which is in our case, Baruch Hashem, is me and my husband. I truly believe that what they get has to come from the home. So whether they're going the intellectual route, they still have to feel that I'm connected to my house, I'm connected to what where I come from, I'm strongly rooted. And from there, they can go anywhere. As long as they have that anchor that they know that I'm behind them, my husband's behind them, they have so much to stand on, then, the sky's the limit.
Wow. Oh, I love that so much. Oh, you have so much to share. I want to ask you questions forever. What's like something else that comes to mind? I've been doing this for a couple of years, but I really believe it, like, off the record, but parents have a huge responsibility, like it's huge. I don't think, only a parent can see the child, a whole picture. The tests in school are great and amazing, but that your kid better than anyone else. You should, I'm talking about an intact family, if you're lucky enough to do that. And Baruch Hashem, I have a connection with my kids, but it starts from a very young age and then keeps going. I actually, with my older guys, I was about to say, with the, I make them talk to me. I have one kid who's in Yeshiva Katana. He comes home at 10:30 every night. Whoa. And I wait up for him. There's no question. I could be exhausted. I take naps during the day. Like, I wait up for him. It's very important. He walks in the door and I say, hi, how are you? What's going on? Like, good. How is Yeshiva? Good. How are your friends? Good. Can I go to sleep now? I'm like, well, today we did this, we did that. I want him to feel a kesher to the house. It's not, I want him to be able to relate to his mother. I want to know what's going on with him. Boys, they go downhill very fast. And when at that age, so for that, he sees that I'm awake every night waiting for him at the door, whether it's a 20-minute conversation, whether it's an hour, whatever it is, mommy's home. Mommy is interested. That is so part and parcel of their chinuch that Amir Hashem, it'll carry with them. The support, the love will carry with them no matter where they are. Wow. Oh my goodness. And their wives will be so thankful to you.
I don't know about their wives. Their wives might be like, what'd you do? He doesn't want to talk to me ever. I guess you talk to him, but this is my job,
So any last thoughts about what we could be doing? Like, at least for us here in Israel, we have like a few days left before school starts. Any last minute pearls of wisdom that you could give to especially young mothers trying to navigate this?
The most important thing that you can do for your child is to daven. Daven to Hashem, He's their child too, not their child. Your child is Hashem's child too. You daven that they should find, that you should daven every day. And, even during vacation, I daven for them that they should have good hashpas and they should have his chadshus to be able to learn well, not stam that they're running around, but Hashem watch over them. Davening is so important. I can't underestimate it. So that's really at any stage, but especially as they're about to make a huge change and go towards the next grade, it's a huge opportunity to daven. You see it more than anything. It's almost like a child's bar mitzvah, a child getting married. Like those are huge steps. Obviously the davening goes there. You feel it more. But at this stage also, it's so important to talk to Hashem. He wants the Eretz Tfilos. We're Jewish mothers. This is what it's all about. Us showing our sincerity and davening. The kids actually tell me, like, Mommy, I have a really big test today, daven for me. Wow. I'm not a miracle worker. I'm not, but they know I'm behind them. They know that they come from a strong place. The davening is so important. As far as the last days of school is concerned, so capitalize on it, make it fun. Like my kids just finished camp. They're finishing camp right now. And it's a week of vacation and I'm going to try as hard as I can. I have limited resources to take them around, and I just try to keep it positive as far as when they leave for school, the first day of school. Am I ecstatic that they're leaving? A little bit. But on the other hand, when they come, okay, not ecstatic. I'm more like prepared, I always say like, my vacation begins when their vacation ends. It's, but when they come home, I say, Mommy missed you. Like I tried it and I mean it. Like, okay, maybe it's because I missed their crying or fetching, whatever. But on some level, I miss them, Mommy. And I try not to be an overbearing mother. I don't. I let them have freedom according to their age, obviously according to their age. But, just say, Mommy missed you. How was your day? I'm interested in hearing. Like but the last few days of vacation, just try to keep it positive, do as much positivity. Don't overdo it as far as next year. The kids know, they know, especially if they're going to be in the same school, they know what they're up against. Just keep it positive, but not all over the place.
Like normal. Yeah.
I mean, like my kid said, like my son said to me, it's like, okay, go learn, like they know. And if they're nervous, you'll see it. If they're nervous, you'll definitely see it and you'll deal with it accordingly. But you just want to show them as much support as possible and don't go over the top. As a little kid in Gan, again, like if it's their first day in Gan, as a 2-year-old, so you're going to adjust accordingly. You're going to give them obviously the big smiles and the kisses and the hugs, but at a later age, they're with it. They know, so keep it calm, be with them. If they have fetching on the first week of school, just listen, don't do anything. Don't make any phone calls. Just take it cool, take it calm. Everybody has a bad day, whether it's the teacher. Sometimes I say, well, you know what? Maybe the teacher's nervous also, but just listen. Don't say, oh, we'll give it a week until after Sukkot and we'll talk. Just listen calmly. What if you see something's wrong with the child, to say, hey, what's going on? I see you're not happy. But just listen. Don't make any assumptions. Don't make any phone calls. Just play it cool. And then either it'll go away or you have to make a phone call. But again, like let it stay calm, listen as much as you can. And sometimes that's just enough. Yeah. But sometimes that's just enough for them. My niche market here is boys. As far as my daughter is concerned, she's my only daughter. I think that also makes a difference. She's my only daughter. So we're much tighter in a different level. Like I'm still her mother and I still have boundaries and I still know when I should be mechanech her very strongly. But because she's my only daughter, we're just more chilled, like she comes to me, I go to her. Sometimes she actually says to me, Mommy, girl time.
Wow.
And she'll take me and she's like, let's do our nails, like, she also needs the girl time, but because I only have one daughter, so my viewpoint on girls is probably very different than most people's.
Sure. And every family dynamic is so different, but like you said, like the core principles and things like that, there's so much to learn from that. And yeah, so thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And
you're welcome.
We should do this again.
This was fun, Dina. I love giving unsolicited advice.
And this was solicited though.
This was solicited, but like it's the first day of school, I really feel like Simchas Torah shouldn't just be one day a year. It's always.
Yeah.
It's always.
Oh, that's so
Don't
much.
save it. I could say also is when the regular schools, like, we live right next to a whole bunch of schools, right? So let's say when the schools that go according to the Misrad HaChinuch schedule are off, like we go more like by the Yeshivah schedule. So when the Misrad HaChinuch schools are off, so it's hard. The boys, it's hard for them when they go to school and there's no traffic. Like they don't see anything. They know they're deserted streets.
Yeah.
So I always tell them, I say, your Torah is holding up the entire world. I said, you're the only Tinoko Shel Beit Rabban that are learning today, and your Torah is what makes the world go. And I give them an extra treat that day, and we keep it fun. We try.
Amazing, Hadassah. Wow. Okay, thank you so much. And
you're welcome.
Let's do this again. We have to. We must.
No problem. No problem. I'm here.
Okay. Enjoy the last week of vacation.
I love it. The kids are awesome. I love it.
Baruch Hashem. It should always be that way.
Amen. You too, Dina. Tizkol mitzvos.
And Hatzlachah to everyone in the first few days. B'ezrat Hashem. It should all go smoothly and well. And everyone should have lots of Hatzlachah. B'ezrat Hashem.